That old chestnut called show versus tell. Most videos I see on YouTube say like, "Oh, you have to show, show, show. Don't tell. Tell is boring." It's like, no, for me as a reader, constantly showing stuff bores me because it takes me out of the moment where it's like just tell me that the character's angry, have the bit of dialogue, carry the momentum of the plot forward. That's how I connect with things as a reader. I mean, it might not work for you, and that's fine. But I found that especially as I'm getting older, I don't have as much free time to basically dive in to extremely purpley prose kind of book where, say, like you can tell a story in 80,000 words, but when you put an overabundance of show in there, maybe it stretches it out to 125,000 words, but do you really need all those words? Uh, it, I find, yeah, I'm basically gravitating more towards books that tell a lot more, and then in the important moments, they'll do a little bit of showing. But there's also readers out there, especially based on some reviews I've seen, where it's like, oh, I hate all this. This is too much telling. Well, I guess it just depends on the kind of wheelhouse you want. That's the reason why when I see a lot of vids like this, it's like, no, don't tell people like this is the way to do things. Open your video with like, this is an option. For my personal biases, I rather have people show me more things rather than telling. Most of these videos basically frame themselves as, oh, this is the only way to do this, and that's really what gets to me sometimes. And it's like, no, there's more than one way to do something. Sure, is there some framing devices that are a lot easier to tackle or get a reader invested? Sure, but the whole show versus tell nonsense, it's up to the reader. Some readers gobble up all the showing stuff where it's like, oh, instead of the man sat down in a huff, they want to see like the man sat down in the chair, it's rough exterior, blah blah blah, riding up his butt or something like that. Yeah, some people enjoy like getting the more, I guess, tactile version of stuff, but me, I really don't want to read a lot of lines of the characters like what bodily functions are happening, or if they're stressed that, oh, their blood pressure's rising. Like, I don't want that constantly brought in. Only when there's should be like, for me as a reader, if there's big moments of tension, maybe a little bit more showing, and depending on the genre, maybe add in the sound effects, like thwack and stuff like that, especially if it's like superhero pros, because I like the corny little sound effects, kind of like the old Batman um, 60s TV series. Yeah, that's the only version of Batman I really, really enjoy. Call me corny, but that's what it is. But yeah, it's just a different level of stuff. Again, it's preferences. Some I really wish more of the advice on the writing scale of things would tell people this. It's like, hi, I'm an announcer that prefers X, Y, or Z wheelhouse, and basically, I suggest that you do A, B, or C in this instance with writing. Uh, but far too often, people just try to keep hammering home, like, no, this is the only correct way to do things. It's like, no, go off road with your writing. I mean, test things out. Again, put stuff on blogs. See who latches on to what. Because, yes, some tense shifts don't really work all that well, or, really connect with some readers. Case in point, most of the stuff I tried to read for samples for the Dragon nominations, at least in terms of air quote best novel, very awkward present tense kind of setup where it's like, nah, this isn't doing it for me. But yeah, show and tell. Practice however you want, but don't subscribe to like, oh, you always gotta show, or never tell, never tell. It's like, no, as you write, as you figure out whatever your writing process is, you'll know what you like more. Because again, when you're writing stuff, you are the primary audience. And that's all that there is today for this tiny little rant of show and tell. Bye.